Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. The closing moments of Dexter, Resurrection Season 1, Episode 9 kill off one of the franchise's biggest characters, marking the official end of an era that the story had gradually been building to. Following brief cameos in New Blood, original character Angel Batista dies shortly after his return in Resurrection, continuing a devastating franchise-long trend for Dexter Morgan. Even more than in New Blood, Dexter, Resurrection's cast puts a significant focus on innocent characters from the original series and how Dexter's serial killing has ruined their lives, whether directly or indirectly. Batista fiercely reminds Dexter of this harsh reality upon reuniting in Resurrection, being the last major Dexter character who experienced such devastating losses from the start. However, that's no longer the case. Welcome to Movie Spy. Every main character from Dexter Season 1 is now dead, except Dexter himself. After Batista's death, every main character from Dexter Season 1 other than Dexter himself is now dead. The main figures from Dexter Season 1 included Dexter, Deb, Harry, Batista, LaGuerta, Dokes, Rita, and Brian Moser. Over the course of the franchise, every single one of them has died, with Dexter being at least partially responsible for their deaths. Even Dexter himself technically died in New Blood's ending but was later resuscitated by medical professionals in Iron Lake. While Harry was already dead by the time Dexter Season 1 began, the franchise has slowly killed off every single one of the main figures from the start of the series. Dexter killed Brian Moser / the ice truck killer after he tried murdering Deb in Season 1. Lila killed Dokes after he nearly exposed Dexter in Season 2. The Trinity Killer murdered Rita to take revenge against Dexter in Season 4. Deb killed LaGuerta to save Dexter in Season 7. Deb was killed by Oliver Saxon after Dexter let him live in Season 8, and Batista was killed by Leon to save Dexter in Resurrection. Though Vince Masuka is still alive in Dexter, Resurrection, and even made his long-awaited return earlier this season, he technically wasn't a main character in Season 1. At that point, he was a recurring character who had much less direct impact on the story and Dexter's biggest conflicts. Meanwhile, Miami Metro's Joey Quinn is also still alive, but didn't join the original series until Season 3. Dexter, Original Sin Season 2 would have been even harsher to watch after Batista's death. Though Dexter, Original Sin's cancellation was disappointing, Batista's death would have made the prequel series' sophomore return more difficult to watch. Batista and Dexter had just become friends in Original Sin, so it would be much tougher to continue seeing them bond back in the early 90s, while knowing that their final interaction would include Batista's murder and piercing last words, Dexter Morgan. Plus, we would already know that every major dynamic in Dexter, Original Sin would end in tragedy. Batista and LaGuerta's flirtations would be viewed in the knowledge that they'd both be killed in order to save Dexter. Deb making strides in becoming a police officer would ultimately culminate in her tragic death. Harry trying to help guide Dexter would still end in him taking his own life. There isn't much happiness that could come out of Original Sin's returning character arcs when we know how brutally they end in either Dexter or Resurrection. As of now, the only stories from that era that still get to properly continue on in Dexter, Resurrection are Dexter's and Masuka's, unless the latest sequel series introduces some of Original Sin's new characters in the current timeline. Thanks for watching.